Hi, I'm Jonathan Amy, and we're here again with Tommy Parry, an ACT therapist in Indiana. He's going to be talking to us today about some diffusion techniques that may help us bring some mindfulness to our unprecedented times right now. So, Tommy?
Hey, Jonathan. This exercise I feel like has been super helpful for me, and I think my hope is that you'll find it some use, some value in it. Often we have a lot of thoughts that show up for us that are sticky thoughts. They're challenging, difficult emotions that show up, and I think that we often feel them, right? Like they're heavy thoughts. They're kind of weighty, and so if you're willing, I'd like you to try an exercise with me. And so I'd like you to right now consider any thoughts that have been showing up lately for you that are particularly troublesome or distressing. So I'll kind of pause for a few seconds here and see if you can, if anything jumps out at you, any situations that maybe happened recently where you noticed some kind of heavy or sticky thoughts showing up. See if you can kind of come up with one of those. So have you got it? Yeah, okay. So I want you to take perhaps the next 10 or 15 seconds, and I want you to say this thought to yourself, a few times in a row, okay? Whatever this difficult thought is. So for me, often, with my kids, one of my sticky thoughts is like, the screaming is too loud. Like it's got to stop, right? And I have this thought that it shows up, and when it shows up, I get tense and I feel frustrated, and all of these things kind of show up at the same time, and the thought feels like it's real. So my thought would be like, the screaming is too loud. All right, that's a heavy thought for me, sticky thought. And so I want you to consider, as I asked you to kind of say this thought to yourself over and over, what are you noticing right now? And what do you notice in your body? Did this thought also show up again with those other emotions that often come with those sticky thoughts? Notice right now just simply what you're feeling in your body. And perhaps you're feeling tension, or you're feeling stress, or you're feeling something inside, anything like that. So notice that. So now what I'd like you to try is put something in front of that thought. So I'd like you to say to yourself, I'm having the thought that the screaming is too loud, or whatever your sticky thought is. So for the next 10 or 15 seconds, I want you to just kind of put that sentence, that little phrase right in front of your sticky thought. And perhaps kind of say that to yourself slowly 3 or 4 times. And now perhaps noticing what you feel now. How was this experience different? Did you notice that it was different at all? What are you noticing right now after you put that phrase in front? And so now I'd like you to try one more thing. I'd like you to put something in front of that. I'd like you to say, I'm noticing that I'm having the thought that, and then your difficult thought. Noticing that I'm having the thought that the screaming is too loud. And go ahead and take maybe the next 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and kind of say that to yourself. And so after trying that, check in with yourself. What are you noticing right now? What's showing up for you in your body? How does this feel? Does it feel any different from that original thought that when it pops up? Maybe take a second to just kind of check in and notice. And so often what people say is that this process gives them this distance between them and their thought. And the point isn't to disprove the thought. The thought's there, right? Simply it's to gain this little bit of space that's like, a little bit of distance between you and your thoughts.
That's really great, Tommy. Thank you for that. I think that'll be really useful for a lot of our families. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jonathan.